Welcome to episode 42 of It's No Secret Podcast Live. We are your hosts, Sharis, Bianca Rose, and Teresa. Say hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's another Wednesday.
That week flew by.
Yes, every week has been flying by.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of our weeks, if you've watched our episodes before, you know we always start with our highs and lows. So we're going to go ahead and start with our lows first. If you guys are watching us on our Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook Live, make sure you guys share your highs and lows with us in the chat too. It always makes for fun conversation.
Absolutely.
Not that we're making fun of you guys or anything, but you know.
Oh, we love to make fun of people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was like, don't make me a liar.
So, Shar, what's your low?
My low this week is I hate my job. Over it.
Tell me how you really feel.
Damn, yeah. How do you really feel, Shar?
It's sad. I don't know. I can't say. I don't hate the job itself. It's very repetitive, but I'm just over the people I work with. I just think it's time. It's time to move on.
That's unfortunate.
We'll move on down to San Antonio.
Yeah. I would love to complain about coworkers, but they are my support system right now in this podcast, so I gotta love them.
Yeah. You have a legal obligation to love me now.
There's one right here in the room. She's in the room with us, Shari.
Sorry.
Oh man. Oh, Vicky Marie on our IG shared her low. She says she got COVID. I mean, ironically, her little emoji's smiling, but yeah, that sucks.
I think that's a little sarcastic.
Little sarcastic, sweaty emoji. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that one.
What was your low for this week?
My low happened today when I came home and realized that my AC was not working.
Oh, that sucks in Texas.
Yeah.
I will say, what's the temperature out there?
It's not so bad. Like right now, it's like in this apartment, it's like 81 degrees, which my plants are loving it because they just like, the humidity that is coming from it. So my hair might frizz up halfway through this show.
That's all right. We'll go on the journey with you.
So get back to me to see how long it'll take this apartment to fix that maintenance request.
Ooh, yes.
I know, like, that's always a thing. It's those maintenance people just never come sometimes.
This is true.
Mine went out when I was pregnant with my son, and they were like, we can't do it. I was like, oh, y'all don't know who y'all dealing with. And I was pregnant. I went and so ham on them people. They came out the same day. I was like, y'all gonna quit playing with me today.
Oh, on top of that, the lights in my living room and my bedroom don't work either. I told my sister, I'm like, what juju did you bring to this goddamn house? You're gonna have to go to confession, go get a cleanse, go do something.
You need some sage.
For real.
I'm like, girl, what'd you do?
Hey, I'm going to be grateful then that your, power's still working and that you're able to join us.
Let us all give thanks.
Yes, let us all give thanks right now.
What about you, T? What was your low?
So originally I was going to say that my low was the fact that I still got to go to work every day, but I'm going to switch it up because I went down a rabbit hole on social media before the show. And my low is all the crazy ass beef that's going on between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B right now. Like, I just have to say, it is so disappointing to see two grown ass women coming for each other like that and going after each other's kids.
This isn't the first time though between them, right?
No, I mean the beef's been going on for years, but it's like escalated now that Cardi's album's out and she's getting recognition and stuff. And so but the fact that like they're throwing each other's kids into the mix and it's like it's just disappointing. Like as a woman, I'm like, come on. Like can I at least
rooting for you? Like
can at least one of y'all have some grace, please? Because
Well, we all know Cardi is not the type to go high when they go low, so I don't know why
Fuck
it would
no.
bother her. And I think I think I'm more disappointed in Nicki because it's like I'm a huge Nicki fan before Cardi ever existed.
Right.
And it's just like, you too damn old. You 10 years her senior.
Yeah. But not
What I
only that, like, if you guys took that energy and turned it into uplifting each other, like, the shit that y'all could accomplish together would
Yeah, I'm
be
like, I
insane.
want a song from them so bad. I guess I will never get that. So
But when has rap and hip hop ever been because they were friends?
I mean, that's true.
yeah, but
Also, you said 10 years her senior. I don't know what that means.
Oh my god, Bianca Rose. That
Is it
means
like,
she's 10 years older than Cardi.
oh, because I'm like, 10 years her senior, so she's 18 and she's 28? I don't know what that means.
Oh, Bianca Rose.
I've heard people say that, and I'm like, 10 years her senior. I'm
You
like,
should have saved that question for when we weren't live.
someone might not also know what that means.
Oh, that's, I mean, okay, touche.
true.
Touche.
I think it might be one of them.
Lord. I'm like, Bianca.
I've heard it, and I've always been like nervous to ask. And I'm like, there's no stupid questions, but there
And
are
then she
stupid
asked
people.
live.
There's those stupid questions. There are stupid people. Man. Oh, Lord. But yeah, so that was just kind of my low, is that I'm just disappointed in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do better. They could do better with their platforms and in supporting each other, and they're just giving women a really bad name right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah. But let's move on from our lows. Let's move on to our highs. So Shari, what was your high for the week?
I'm just gonna say my high this week is that I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm blessed.
Hey.
My children are. We're healthy. Um, yeah, we're good.
Good. Show,
I like
it's
that.
okay to just show general appreciation.
Honestly, that's what I was gonna say. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just the overall gratitude of everything.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the small things, small but yet big things.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Small but most important things.
yes. yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
man.
B, what about you?
My high was that I've been just celebrating some milestones lately, and just overall, I'm pretty happy about that.
Good.
Same with Shari, just celebrating and being very grateful for some of those things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know this sounds so cryptic.
I know it really does, but that's okay.
But I mean, there's nothing specific. It's just an overall like life is lifing, and it's actually lifing good. After like I had spent some time in the apartment, how I had that moment where I'm like, oh, it's sinking in. It's kind of like I can embrace this now. I'm kind of going through one of those things. So yeah,
Okay. That's good. Yay. Yay to growth.
growth, baby.
Yeah.
What about you, P?
Well, I guess we're just going to be on the appreciation train today because originally my high was going to be that my parents are coming on Friday, but I kind of mentioned that last week already. But it happened right before showtime. I was having a conversation with my husband, and I just decided to take a moment to truly reflect with him on our relationship and show him appreciation for the growth that both of us have gotten to experience in this relationship. And we're far from perfect, but we're perfectly imperfect. And just I feel like as a woman especially, I don't always take the time to just say thank you to my husband for the things he does. And so today I got a moment to do that, and that was honestly my high, was seeing him accept the feedback and agree that we're trying to set a good example for our kids of what a healthy relationship looks like. And communication was one of our biggest weaknesses, if I'm being honest. And throughout the years we've learned to speak each other's languages and communicate better and openly talk about really uncomfortable things. And so shout out to my husband, because just being able to share that with him really made my day today.
Oh,
Yeah.
shout out Gabe. I'm sure he appreciates that.
He better.
So,
He better. Sorry, I get weird with deep moments. So
yeah,
yeah.
but again, like I said, like men also need to be appreciated too, and need to be
Yeah.
expressed that. Sometimes they don't know it.
I feel like as women we don't do that enough.
It's very funny that you said that because you being myself, like I literally woke up and like at 6 o'clock this morning, I'm writing this long message about just appreciation to the special someone, and it was just like they need to hear that. So we were totally on the same page today, and yeah,
I'm
to
glad.
they have to hear that. I think it's very
Yeah.
important.
And I think as like three women, podcast, we always talk shit. Like we have our moments where we talk about our traumas, but I think it's important to like pause and share these moments where we appreciate our men and we give them their flowers and show them everything that they do for us and the appreciation, because I think it's easy to like cling on to
The negative.
negative aspects of relationships. It's easier to remember the bad moments.
Mm,
So I'm just, I'm trying to be a better me and take more time to focus on the positive things in my life.
I like that.
Yeah. Thanks. Ironically, that is not what this is about today.
Oh no.
But
I mean,
it's kind of a perfect
it
segue.
kind
Like
of is,
it
yeah. Like,
really is.
so for those of you guys watching us, we got a lot of people watching on our IG right now. Thank you guys so much, and on our YouTube. But to everyone watching, today we're going to talk about the things that men and women are taught about when it comes to love, and like how to love and how to receive love and all the things involving love. But mainly like the differences between men and women. And I will say, like, I really wish we had a guy on today to talk about this. So I'm going to highly depend on some of our male listeners to chime in with us throughout this conversation and keep us honest when it comes to like the things that we might share that we believe males have gone through, growing up and things like that. Because, of course, everybody's experience is different and we're just sharing from a female perspective. But Shari was the one that kind of like brought up this topic. And it was something that triggered it. Shari, do you want to share with the class?
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much it was scrolling through social media. Um, and I came across this video, and I think they were on a podcast, and I hate that I can't remember. I literally was searching high and low for it today, and I could not because I'd love to give credit. But I couldn't find it. So, needless to say, this lady basically said that men are taught how to love women or how to love a woman, yet women are taught how to be loved, not necessarily how to love a man.
Mm-hmm.
And it just triggered something inside of me because I was just like, it is so true. Like when you really think about just growing up throughout life, right? A man is taught you open doors for women, you walk on this side for a woman, you do this, you do that. And then women, we're taught if a man doesn't do this, he doesn't love you. If a man does, it's like we're taught how to be loved versus how do you love another individual, right? And maybe they think because it's just like it's a it's an internal, like a maternal thing, right? Like we
Right.
naturally love and we
That
naturally know how to do
nurturing.
that, but not all women are natural lovers or have that maternal instinct to love in that way, right? And so it's like to me it was just mind blowing to take a step back and like really look at it from that perspective. And so I thought it was funny that you said that today because again we were on the same train, and it's like how do we unlearn the things that we were taught or learn things as adults, grown women that we weren't taught? And
Yeah.
I think it kind of, it's always like women, I feel like a lot of times men are given the hard time, and I don't know if it's because like we feel like, well, you were taught this, so you should know. But then men also feel like, well, women should know. But if we really think about it, we're not taught that. I
Yeah.
can speak from experience. Like I wasn't taught that.
Yeah.
And watching the relationships that, people in my family went through, like it was never on how to love on your man. It was like, well, he's not loving me right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like we really in the I don't think I can speak for a lot of women. I don't think there's a woman who was like sat down and like, no, here's how you love on your man.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like now on social media, there's a little bit more exposure to stuff like that. Like if you're really looking for it,
Right, but that's what I'm saying
but you
as
gotta
an
look for it.
adult. But we
Yeah.
didn't grow up with that.
Yeah. But like I agree with you that, and I never really thought of it that way because you're not taught to think of it that way, right?
Hmm.
But to think of it from that perspective is yes, the men are being trained on how to love their partner. Whereas a woman is being trained on these are the expectations you set
Hmm.
on your partner.
Yep.
And that is real shit. Like, I mean, it even in fairy tales and media and things like that, like that's how the story goes. The girl is the damsel in distress, and the guy is the prince that comes to save her.
Yep.
You know, they have to be the protectors, they have to provide, they have to, you know, set the bar for their daughters, right? Even when it comes to like kids, I was thinking about this while you were talking, Shari. I'm like, yeah, like if a man's not treating you right, the first thing a lot of people question is, oh, your mama didn't raise you right. But it's the mama that didn't raise the son right, right? But then with the daughters, it's like, oh, your dad didn't set the bar high enough.
Hmm.
Mm.
And so it's like, good call out. Good call out. Real quick before Bianca shares her opinion, uh, Michelle jokingly said, slap him around a little bit. And then she said, just kidding. But Fuzzy Bunny said, I will add that men being taught how to be loved is a scarce combo because it was historically mixed with toxic expectations, such as expecting cooking, cleaning, and submission, like from women. And
Hmm.
yes, we are taught to be dainty and pretty and, you know, all the things.
That
Yeah,
we're not.
I was kind of leaning towards that to that similar point is what we are taught the definition of love is to do those traditional roles of I'm trying to cater to simplify someone else's life. So from a female's perspective, like females are taught to do the cooking and cleaning and be there in a way for her man, the way that that's the like doing those household chores, playing in that role. And that is what we is taught. That's what love is making a man's life so simple. And then same
Mhm.
thing to a man. It's like we're like, the men are taught to also provide for the women. Do this by doing these roles. I am expressing love. So it kind of lacks the participation of other aspects such as like emotional like love. How do you express it in other ways other than just providing in those traditional roles?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something else I had heard too, actually today looking for the video. And she was saying like how most people like you think that, right? You think like, oh, well, if I cook for him or I do this or I do that. And she's like, sometimes like as women, we have to learn to take a step back and be like, yeah, that's what I was taught that he needs, but maybe that's not what he needs. I'm just going to ask the question, what do you need?
Mm.
She said, because maybe he doesn't need me to cook him a full meal today. Maybe he just needs his back rubbed. Like,
Right.
and it's like we put ourselves in these situations thinking that this is what the person needs because we were taught that.
Mhm.
But in reality, it may not be that. It could be something so much more similar, like feeding your emotional needs or something different than, providing you something. So
Yeah.
I was like, that was, kind of dope too. Like, just to hear, like, we have to be open to asking those questions and having those conversations to figure it out what it is someone wants. Because you can't love somebody based on how you want to be loved.
That part. And we talked about that a little bit when we talked about the love languages, right? You love people in their language. Real quick, Becky Flowers on our Facebook said most women are taught to be submissive. Yeah, and I mean that goes back to Fuzzy Bunny's point on our IG. Like it's mixed with those expectations of this is what women do, the gender roles, right? This is what women do, this is what men do. And then another comment we got on our IG from Vicky Marie, she said, I also think women are taught to lean on their expectations from a place of self-protection. Women have to set the bar high because the stakes for her safety are high.
Ooh.
That's deep because like that's environmental. That's not just the way you're raised, right? That's society. That's, you know, there's so many factors into what safety actually means for females, and yeah, we do have to lean not just in relationships but in life in general from a place of self-protection. So I'm really really glad she put that out there.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate really quickly,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because I feel like a lot of the times too, where it's the situation of we don't we don't stop to think to protect men
Mm,
though, because we expect them to protect us, right?
yep.
So it's like we also have to take that into consideration. And like I'm very big on like being in a relationship with someone. It's like men deal with a lot of shit
Yes,
on the outside.
especially the minority men.
Right.
Mm.
So, like they deal with enough. The world is coming at them left and right all day long. And it's like when you cross that threshold, you come into this house. Yes, we may have our differences, we may have whatever it is, but you
Mhm.
will always be treated
With respect.
with respect and in the highest, level of respect. Because it's like I know just based on the relationship what it's like.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I can't say I know exactly what it's like, but I have an idea,
Mm.
and it's like, so we also have to take men's safety because it takes an emotional toll when they got to deal with it at home and deal with it outside. And so, it's got to go both ways. It can't be a safety can't be a one-sided thing. I think
Right.
either.
And
Yeah.
not just safety, vulnerability, just giving a man the opportunity to be vulnerable, to accept the love that you're trying to give.
But it's
Because,
creating that safe space.
yeah,
It's giving him that safety and security that he needs to be able to be that. To be
Yeah.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, well, Miss Shelley actually added some additional comments as well. She said, "Yes, I agree. In my family growing up, it was very old school. Like women should be ready to serve, be ready when your husband gets home from work and look pretty, have a drink ready, don't argue." Yeah. But and to Shari's point, the boys though, growing up are taught to not have feelings. You're not allowed to cry. You have to be tough. You got to suck it up, right? Whereas us girls were taught to comfort people that are going through something like that. Like they never, let me not say never because not everybody's raised exactly the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like for the most part, yeah, for the most part, they don't get to experience that like softer side of life
mm.
that they too deserve.
Can I
Um,
give a hot take though on, because when y'all wanted to talk about this subject of like to love and be loved, I had such like a negative connotation of this. Clearly, because my lack of experience. Like I know, like I, I personally can love. I can accept to be loved, but I want to be loved, right? And for some reason, I came to a thought of asking, like, do women settle for the love that they may not necessarily have envisioned for themselves because they want to be loved, but they'll accept whatever type um, of love that they receive? Like sometimes the bar is so low, we're like, oh, he opened up the door for me. Oh my God, he walked me to the car. Oh, he made like things like that. And it's like those are just your basic signs of like respect. Those are things that just for some reason I just thought that if women, I think we're setting ourselves up to settle for less than what we envisioned for ourselves.
I honestly think both parties do. I don't think that it's just a one sided thing. I think that both male and females tend to experience that because you
Hold
will.
on, because I feel like you're cutting out just a little bit.
yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
We can
Yeah.
hear you, but you
I'll
sound
say
a
it loud
little
for the people in the
robotic.
back who couldn't hear.
Yeah.
No, I just said I think that both men and women.
The internet does not want Shari's opinion to be heard.
Yeah, you sound a little like robotic right now.
Oh
Yeah.
no! See, when I have something to say.
Try to leave and come back. We'll bring you back in here. Yeah. Live show, live problems, people.
Honestly.
Now, really quick, while she's doing that, let me catch us up on some of these comments. Fuzzy Bunny on our IG said that be machismo, deal with it. Once we're gone, you're on your own. And yeah, that's what I was talking about like guys being put in those positions. But like going back to your point, Bianca, like I hear what you're saying. I absolutely do. And I get where that comes from as far as like settling, right? But I
Mhm.
think settling is dependent on the individual woman because what is your expectation, right? Where do you have those? But also, are you even giving what you're asking for?
Mm.
Because I think that's the mistake that a lot of people, not just women, a lot of people make is that, well, this is what I want from you, but I'm going to just do what I do. And if you do that, then great. And if you don't, then I'm out. You know,
Yeah.
because there's so much option, there's so much availability, there's so much of everything now. And so, like, are we settling? Some people are, yeah. Would I say that I did? Absolutely not, because I expect from myself in the relationship the same that I expect to get back.
Mm.
If that's not meeting, then yeah, we got a problem.
Well, I think you kind of touched on something too. It's also who are you loving? Who are you accepting that love from? So that also plays a part, not just like internally, what you think of, yourself and what you're giving out, but it's also what you're accepting too. Who are you giving your love and attention to? Sometimes it is to the wrong person, so it doesn't feel at the value that you intend it to be or want it to be.
Yeah. Do you guys think that times are changing at all when it comes to all of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think we live in a totally different world now. Because I think people are comfortable to have these conversations,
Yeah.
right? Like the conversations come up. Before, even just this whole theory of men are taught this and women are taught that, and we should see things differently, we were just taught what we were taught, right? No one was having these conversations.
Mhm.
So I definitely think like we are truly living in a different time, and people are more open to not living in gender roles and so seeing things differently. And women stay home and take care of the kids. I know a lot of men who like to do that, and it works because you're better with the kids, and I'm gonna go out here and make this money. And
Right.
like I think the world is just changing, and I think that I think in that aspect it's for the better.
See, I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like, yes, agree with you 1,000% that that's happening, right? Especially with the like dissolving of gender roles. But I also think that we have like the super duper hyper independent women out there too that like
Mm-hmm.
don't even attempt to let people in because I got this,
Mm.
I can do bad all by myself, right? Things like that. So it's like I feel like there's still an imbalance, but I do agree with you that the gender roles like are kind of dying down and that people are more open to conversation as well.
I think it's funny though too. I think like there is definitely an imbalance, but I also, and it's a good thing to see. I think that a lot of men are realizing their value,
Mm.
Mhm.
and I think a lot of men aren't falling for you're just the basic woman and giving me my basic, meeting the basic, settling, right, meeting the basic
Mhm.
needs. And I think like that's just so great to see. I love to see the evolution of men and watching them know their worth and not settle for just the basic, because that's not fair to them either. We
Right.
wouldn't accept it, so why should they?
Yeah.
I will say this because Team Heartbroken. Oh, that changed.
Oh.
Hi, Unc. I'm sorry you're Team Heartbroken now. He did put in the chat. He said hello both on our Facebook and our IG. So he's definitely
Oh.
clocked in and showing some love right now.
He
Oh,
said no
Uh,
one's putting me off.
he said everyone became selfish.
mm.
And
I kind of
I
disagree with that.
I agree and disagree. I think there are some people that take it over the top,
There
but
is
there's a lot of people that are just like you said, valuing themselves more.
I think they're more aware. They're acknowledging. So that whole what you were saying, it's like the gender roles, the identities, the responsibilities. Now the men are cooking and cleaning too.
Mhm.
They too are like, I don't need a woman to do that for me. I am taking care of my basic needs. That's not what I'm going to accept as love. So what other way can you give that to me? What is another way that I can also give?
Mhm.
So that I think this is where that changing time is.
Yeah.
Um, we're really definitely in that new day and age, but it does start with being aware of um, what you are capable of, what you can give, what you want to receive back.
Yep. Real quick, Becky Flowers on our Facebook said nobody knows how to truly love, but only know what they have seen growing up. It's their choice to know what's wrong and what's right. You just never know. It's so
Mm,
funny that all of this is actually happening today and we're talking about this the way that we're talking about this today because what triggered my conversation with my husband earlier was we were both kind of reminiscing on the types of relationships that we grew up around, which is exactly what Becky's talking
mm,
about in the chat. And like, I mean, I've talked to you guys openly about the relationship that my parents have had, and they've been very stable for me and have been an example of a great relationship. But every other relationship I've ever been around has been toxic to some degree or dramatic or whatever the case might be. So, like, part of that appreciation conversation that I had with my husband was like, it's nice that we're not the couple that has any drama. Like, we're the couple that's like chill and peaceful and, we're all good over here. Leave us alone. We're good. Like keep
I
the
like that.
drama over there. But yeah, like what you see growing up as far as like relationship examples definitely impacts this conversation in a whole other way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think you have to learn, like, you've got to grow up and you have to learn things on your own, right? It's like being a journalist and they say do your own research, learn your own things, right? Don't take somebody's word for it. And even the things that you saw growing up, like, yeah, you can take that for what it is and keep it going the same way, or you can say no, I'm going to break those curses, I'm moving forward, I'm doing something different. And I think, like, that's when I say, like, things are changing, because I think a lot of people are trying to break generational curses, whether that
Mm,
be financially, relationships, whatever it may be, right? Just across the board. And we're just definitely in that time, because, like, I can say I have never seen a good example of a relationship
Mm.
growing up, never. And I come from a family of very hyper independent women. Um, and I didn't. It's a lot of things that I learned, and now I'm like, I have to unlearn those things
Yeah.
yeah.
to be in a relationship that works and that functions properly. Because no man wants a woman that's just like, nope, got it, nope, don't need you, no, like, and like that's what I was taught. That's how I grew up, and so I've had to learn things. So it is possible to unlearn things and do things differently. You just have to want to do that. I don't think that the environment that you grow up in is solely your determination of
No.
how your lives and relationships go, but I think you have to just make that decision. Some people will say, "Well, that's all I know. That's what I was taught. That's
Mhm.
all I seen. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it." But it's like, no, you're just being selfish in that situation, and you don't want to change.
And
Correct.
and to your point, you either repeat the same mistakes or you learn from them, right?
Right.
It just depends on the individual and kind of what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Fuzzy Bunny on our IG said, "I think the world is more transparent." So and I agree. I think that's what you're trying to get across too. He said, "And it's easier to look at what others have in comparison." That's That's also true. It's easier to compare, which I'll be honest with you, to me is not always a good thing.
Mm-mm. Because
Like,
people are going to show you what they want to show you. They're not showing
right,
you the real thing.
right. Especially at the beginning of relationships. Like, I mean, Shari says this all the time. They bring your representative. Like, yeah. B, you were going to say something.
No, I think I was going to say something and then I lost my thought to it. But keep going. I was finding my way back when you said it.
My bad. But Fuzzy Bunny also said the world is also less forgiving and harsher for work and finances, which would obviously strain chances at love. Especially like from a male perspective, I think, again, we're all programmed that the guy is the provider and that, they pay for this and they pay for that. And that is a minimum expectation. But
Mhm.
it's like, you don't fucking know what people are going through. Get to know, find out what they're going through before you judge. Now, if that's just not something you want, that's okay too, right? It's okay to have your own standards, but it's the judgmental aspect and the harsh remarks, to Fuzzy Bunny's point. Like, we live in a world where everybody is less forgiving now. Everyone is harsher in some senses.
I'm gonna throw this question out there, and we don't have to go down a rabbit hole on it. It's just a basic conversation, right? Because this could be for a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But like when you just said, like, everybody's standards are different, right? And everybody's expectations are different.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about those people, both male and female, who have those expectations that you're kind of like,
You're never
that's a
gonna,
bit much. You're never gonna find, like, and I
Like
don't want
we have those unrealistic expectations.
totally unrealistic, right? How do you guys feel about that? Like, is it really being unrealistic, or like I don't know. Like, I feel
It
like
depends what it is that they want. Like, are they saying like I want a 6 foot, man who makes six figures, who has no kids, never been divorced, has an education and a degree, who has no parents, that I don't have to deal with a mother-in-law who does that. Like, if they're getting so
it's
specific and
not
then
no parents.
okay, then yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I've heard some crazy shit of what
so
people
have I.
will not accept, but depending on everyone can have like their standards, but if you're trying to combine all those standards, you're never going to find someone. At some point something has to give. Like you
Yeah, and
might
they're like
find
everything is
two
a
out of the five
everything is
things
a
that you're looking for.
non-negotiable at
Yeah,
this
like
point.
if you are everything is not negotiable, yeah, it's a little bit unrealistic, and you're setting yourself up for failure if not to settle for something less, and you're never actually going to be happy. So I think you have to be aware that you're not going to get all the things that you want. So what are the things you'll accept?
Well, you have to reevaluate your list, right? You got to like think about it. And to Shari's point, right? You should have some that are negotiable. That just not having any everything being non-negotiable is not okay. Um, but like, to Shari's question of like, what do I think when I'm dealing with people like that? I think before, if you would have asked me this question like 10 years ago, I'd be like, they're delusional and yada, 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 right? I think asking me this question now, what I think when I'm hearing those people is, A, more power to you. If that's what you feel that you need in order for you to be happy, vaya con Dios. Because, like, I mean, what else can I say, right?
Yeah.
It's not my life, it's theirs.
Yeah.
And so if you feel the need to have, ridiculous expectations, like he needs to be this tall and he got to be taller than me in my 6-inch stilettos and, shit like that, like, then you more power to you, baby. More power to you. Does that change what I want? No. It has no impact on what I want and what I'm looking for in my life. And so it is what it is. That's how I deal with people like that now. It's just, hey, you know what? More power to you. If that's what you
You
want,
know what?
and
Those people who stick to their guns, they might actually find those people. And I'm
they
like, well,
might.
shit,
You
where have you
never
been?
fucking know.
It's
There's
like
a
the
lot of
table
people on
wrong.
this earth. Like, you never fucking know. Who am I to tell you you can't achieve that?
Honestly, maybe your reference of maybe let me see mine. Maybe my frame of reference is that it's so unrealistic because I'm looking at it from my perspective and my point of view and what I'm limited by. If
Mhm.
I'm looking for a 6 foot man, I probably shouldn't be here in fucking San Antonio because they're all about 5'9" apparently. So
I found
let
my
me go
man.
where these criterias are already met. So maybe that's the point of view that I'm missing.
All right. Team heartbroken. Oh, this makes me really sad that he's team heartbroken now. He said he can't stand people anymore. Neither can I, Unc. Neither can I. But he said he'll stay single.
But you know what? Some people are better and enjoy loving more than being loved back.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just like to put out that energy and are okay without accepting it. So, what do y'all think about what is harder to do, to love or to be loved?
I personally think it's harder for me
Hmm.
to be loved.
Mhm.
Um, I have had a tendency, and I'm getting better at this. This was part of my conversation with my husband that we're getting better, right? Um, I was that person that regularly blocked my own blessings, whether it was out of fear, or out of the unknown, not being open minded enough yet, um, whatever it might have been, right? So I think for me specifically, it's harder to be loved because I have to be more vulnerable in that
That's
one.
the one. Yeah,
Mhm.
I completely agree with you. For me, it's definitely harder to be loved. It's harder for me to be vulnerable, to let my guards down, to accept the fact, or even let myself see myself as valuable enough to be loved and to accept it.
Hmm. Yeah. Ironically, both Unk and Fuzzy Bunny said to be loved. Shari, what about you?
Definitely to be loved. Definitely. I don't think that and it's weird because it's not like I'm not a confident person in some, not all the time, but like I'm not that individual. I wouldn't like to say I don't have low self-esteem. I don't that, but it's just it's more of the vulnerability piece.
Mm.
And like in order to be in that space, you have to be vulnerable. And I think for me, it's just really hard to put myself in that space. So finding someone who makes it easy to be in that space and you want to be in that space with someone, you got to try it, right? Like, why not?
I find it really ironic that both us as women and the guys in the chat all said to be loved, because with everyone feeling the same way, doesn't that technically make it harder to love as well?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like,
it depends
Yeah.
who you're
yeah.
loving and who you are accepting that love from. I can receive love from, the wrong person and it's never going to feel right. I'm never going to feel safe. I'm never going to feel
Mm,
appreciated. I'm never going to feel what I want to feel because it's not from the right person.
yeah. That's so true.
Very true.
That's so true. Yeah. Do you guys think that all of this also has anything to like do with how we resolve issues in relationships too? Because we talk about love, right? But with love and in being in relationships comes a lot of compromise and forgiveness and things like that. And so, like, even the way that we apologize or repair our relationships, I think, has been taught to us differently too. Like,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
with women, I mean, let's be frank, most of the time we can get away with forgiving someone who maybe shouldn't have gotten a pass, or you know what I mean? Like, I think we do a lot more of the forgiveness type stuff because we're trained to be more submissive. We're trained to be more accommodating. We nurture, we make people feel good, right? So why not forgive, right? But is that to our detriment as women?
I think so. I think
Mm-hmm.
forgiving is such a cop out rather than like addressing the situation. Forgive is kind of like the same to me is the same as sweeping it under the rug.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, I'll forgive you and we'll just keep it moving. It's like, well, there's a lot of aftermath that you deal with afterwards. The relationship is strained. Your ego is hurt. Like there's a lot of things that I think forgiveness is just a band-aid.
But that's assuming that that's how you forgive, that
Mm-hmm.
you use forgiveness as a band-aid.
I feel
Right.
like that's thrown around a lot, where it's like I've seen and heard people be like, "Oh, forgive and forget, forgive and forget." No, some people don't deserve forgiveness.
Right. And don't forget, let's make that clear. But like,
Never forget.
yeah, but I think though, to what you're saying, like, I don't even know how to explain this right now. I can't get the words out. Like, how does that play a detriment to us though? Like, how can we change that? How can we fix that? How can we change our mentality to where it's better?
Because I think we have to know that with forgiveness has to come change.
Mm.
So conversations have to be had, right? Those
Yes.
comfortable conversations have to be had. And I need to see action. I can't just forgive someone who's giving me words.
Right.
Because just like I can say I can forgive you, but really it's sitting in the back of my mind 24/7 and I'm really not because I'm constantly living in that space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it in order to get out of that cycle, you have to expect more. You have to expect the actions coming from it, not just the words. So, in order to not be detrimental to ourselves, we can't just accept what people are telling us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I won't do it again. No, show me you won't do it again.
Yeah, I've heard that a time or two.
Rich, where's my money?
If I had a quota for every time. No, just kidding.
But yeah, like I think we have to take forgiveness. We have to unlearn what we were taught
Mm,
about forgiveness.
yeah.
That it's okay if someone hurts you because they said they're sorry and so you got to move on from it. No, I want to see the action behind it. It's not just the words that I'm expecting to
Yeah.
hear. And
But,
so I think, yeah.
but going back to kind of some stuff that we had said in our Second Chances episode, like, just because I forgave you doesn't mean that we still have a relationship. Doesn't mean that we still, you know what I mean? Sometimes, especially like for me, I'm the type of person, a lot of time forgiveness is for me. Forgiveness is so that I let go.
Mm.
It's something that I got to do for me, solely for me. And so like that's why to me like I personally don't use it as a tool to sweep shit under the rug. I use it as, hey, I'm forgiving you for whatever I need to forgive you for my sake, so that I'm not carrying this weight.
No, wait. Yeah.
But I'm either going to learn and grow from it with you or without you. And you got to be okay with that. Right. So I think it just goes back to how we treat forgiveness. But I do agree, though, Bianca, that I do see that a lot more now. That a lot of people use that as a way to not deal with confrontation. And I'm a we need to talk about this shit, girl. I am. I'm sorry. Like we need to talk about it. Even if
I'm more of
we
a
agree
wait.
to
Let's see
disagree.
if it resolves itself kind of girl.
Damn. damn.
You gotta live and learn, B. You gotta live and learn.
The growth is a lot harder to do than y'all think.
Unk said they rather keep getting hurt so they won't be alone.
You'll
Well,
accept the love you think you deserve, and if that's always a bad situation, then you're always going to feel like you are only going to accept to be loved in those bad ways.
Unk also said, y'all using these big old words.
Too educated for me.
I was gonna say we're 10 years your senior. And so like like T said, 10 years ago her answer would have been different. So you still got time.
I was like, you know what? I think I'm falling in track with what her thoughts are. So I'm you from the
past. Yeah. You just ain't here yet, girl. Don't worry, you'll get there.
You ain't crossed that. You ain't hit the crossroads yet. You'll get there. You'll get
Real quick, Gabe on our YouTube said no risk, no reward. But choose wisely.
Mm.
And that goes back to the point Bianca keeps coming back to. It's also who you're loving, right? Who is that other individual? What is their mentality? How do they think?
Yep.
Fuzzy Bunny on our Instagram said, "What hurts more in the grand scheme? Losing $5 when you have six, or losing 1,000 when you have 1,001?" He's getting deep.
He's getting real deep.
Yeah. He said, "When you invest a lot and lose just that much, it generally hurts more. That's why it's usually hard to be loved and accept that love and be up in the positive. It's scary." Yes. Relationships are fucking scary.
Mm-hmm.
You're being all vulnerable with this person who has the ability to fucking crush your heart like this. Like, no. Yeah, it's
Who
fucking
even
scary.
thought of this? Who
I
signed
don't
us up
know.
for this ghetto
I
shit?
don't know. Something in our body chemistry. I don't know. But there's got to be some science behind this shit.
Ghetto, 0 stars, do not recommend.
Michelle on our IG said, "I like to resolve things in the moment. Let's deal with this right now, and then I can decide how I'm going to move forward."
Mm.
I like to resolve things in the moment too, but I've had to learn that not everybody wants to do that. And so I have had to learn to be okay with giving people time and space if they need it. That was very difficult for me.
Because I want to talk now. No.
Yes, I want to fix it. I'm a fixer. Okay.
I'm not good with confrontation
Okay, Olivia
because
Pope.
no, I'm not good with confrontation because sometimes like I really do have to think about what I want to say before I say it because if I'm going to say the first thing that comes to mind, my initial response may not be what I intended or what I wanted to say. It may not be, it may have been like a raw reaction rather than like, oh, let me sit back and think about it. You know, maybe I should have had a different reaction. So I try to sit with it, but in doing that, I also avoid. So
I also avoid.
I'm aware of this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's natural though. I think it's human nature to not want to deal with a conflict or things like that. Like who the fuck wants to deal with that shit? I mean, don't get me wrong. I do feel like there's some people that get some shits and giggles out of stuff like that. But like I'm not one of them. But dealing with people that have your same mentality, Bianca, is what helped me learn to allow people a little bit of space. But then that little bit of space also tells me a lot because I'll give you the space. And if you avoid me, Bianca, then you've already said something to me without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
Drag me. Got it.
No, but it's no response is a response.
It's a response.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how important am I, or how important is resolving this to you? How much time do you need? And why do you need that time?
And I think like every relationship should come up with like, have that conversation, right? What is your cool off period?
Yeah.
And then that way you avoid that. You avoid feeling like,
Write that down. What is a cool off period? Good job.
like
One more time.
you avoid feeling, you can avoid having that feeling of, whoa, no response is a response, right?
Mhm.
But then you also can avoid that in a moment response that you may regret later.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, have those conversations. Like, okay, if an argument comes up, how long before we talk about this?
Yeah. Because if
That way you clear the air.
if we're partnered up with someone who needs time, right? With someone who wants to do things now, in the midst of me trying to get stuff to be done now, this person's gonna then, like Bianca said, blurt out some shit that now my feelings are hurt.
And now we're both crying.
And now we're both crying. And now we've made the situation worse instead of making it better. And so I've had to, become aware of that and give people time. Those kind of things. Michelle said, "I'm not quite there yet, Teresa." LOL. Love and Life said, "I love the confrontation. Let's get out the bullshit out, boom, over and done with." Yeah, I mean, but it's to each his own. What kind of person are you dealing with, though? Know
That matters.
know yourself enough to communicate what you need, but also know your partner.
And how many fire ambers get blown out from that? Like that's I think that's the part that people have to understand is like you're just starting more fires in different places. I think when you do that.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
You are.
All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour now. But real quick, I wanted to end this with a quote that you made me think of, Shari, when you talked to us about this topic originally, because it was said to me by one of my male friends. Shout out to Paul in Chicago. He was the one that told me this a long time ago. We were like pretty young, but he said, men want to be needed, women need to be wanted. And I'm just gonna leave it there.
Let us sit with that one.
Look, all shit that we have to unlearn.
Yeah, all shit that we have to.
We got homework to do.
Yes,
homework.
Shoe fly, don't bother me. All right. Well, first of all, thank you to everyone in the chat. You guys were awesome in participating and giving us your opinions. Shout out to the fellas today who gave us the male perspective. Thank you, Unc and Fuzzy Bunny mainly. So thank you guys. But for those of you guys out there who don't know how to find us on all our platforms or want to tell your friends to follow us, let them know how they can do that.
You can like, follow, and subscribe to us on our social media. That's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at It's No Secret Podcast, and our TikTok at It's No Secret Podcast Live. And if you can't join us on our live stream Wednesday to participate, then you can definitely listen to us on Spotify and Apple on Sundays. I didn't mess up this time.
I'm so proud of you, B.
And until next time, remember, it's no secret.
Bye.
Bye.